Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In today's episode, we travel back to the early 19th century as the young United States was beginning to expand on the American continent. We explore one of the most famous frontier expeditions in our nation's history, the expedition of Lewis and Clark from the years 1804 to 1806. To grasp the significance of this journey, let's explore the backdrop of the continental United States at the turn of the 19th century. With France, Spain, and Great Britain seeking to expand their world empires in the Western Hemisphere, the United States found a golden opportunity to gain prominence on the world stage. In one of the most brilliant political deals in history, U.S. President Thomas Jefferson orchestrated the Louisiana Purchase with France. The United States doubled in size as a result, adding 827,000 square miles to its surface area for a cheap price of $15 million, or less than 3 cents per acre. Almost immediately, the president called for an expeditionary force tasked with exploring the new land, determining if civilized life in the Far West would be possible, and trekking through the Spanish-owned American Far West to reach the Pacific Ocean. This is where we meet Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, two Virginia-born military men who would lead the exploration westward. Lewis served as Thomas Jefferson's secretary, and Jefferson chose him to lead the expedition as its chief commander. Lewis then asked his friend William Clark to join him as the co-captain of the exploration. With a party of nearly 50 able-bodied men, most of them unmarried soldiers, the expedition began in Missouri. The men used the Missouri River as their guide. In August of 1804, early in the journey, they experienced their lone casualty as 22-year-old Sergeant Charles Floyd died of an infection that historians believe could have been appendicitis. The Expeditionary Corps met many Native American tribes throughout their journey. It's important to remember that the purpose of the expedition was not to conquer natives and steal their land, but rather to explore uncharted land and open up opportunity for expansion. Lewis and Clark made it clear to their crew that they would seek peace with any natives they countered. They succeeded in large part because of a timely assist from a famous Shoshone Indian woman, Sacagawea. Sacagawea joined the expedition with her French husband as a valuable interpreter for the explorers, and in early 1805, she gave birth to a son whom she named Jean-Baptiste. In November of 1805, the crew at last reached the Pacific Ocean. After camping in the far American West in the winter of 1805 and 1806, the crew began the long journey home. They crossed the Rocky Mountains and parted with Sacagawea in the summer of 1806, and on September 23rd, after more than 2 years, they returned to St. Louis, Missouri. The expedition ended in great success and paved the way for the United States to eventually expand all the way across the continent to the Pacific Ocean. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. And if you want us to cover one of your favorite moments in history, you can tell us in the comments. Now stay tuned for some new content.